素晴らしいですね。
There's a version of Naoya Inoue that even his biggest fans don't fully understand. A version that doesn't calculate, doesn't measure, doesn't wait for the perfect opening. A version that smells blood and stops being a boxer entirely and becomes something far more primal. There was a night when Naoya Inoue lost control, and the whole world felt it. Not because it was the hardest punch he ever threw, but because of the way it happened. A slow, methodical dismantling that suddenly turned into pure violence that nobody in the arena was prepared for. And the scariest part is, it's happened more than once. Let's set the stage. The arena is packed. The Japanese commentary team is already buzzing because everyone knows what Inoue is capable of. But there's always that question hanging in the air before every fight. Will we see the surgeon tonight, or will we see the monster? The answer, as it always seems to be, was both. Because Inoue doesn't just knock people out. He builds toward the knockout like an architect, constructing something beautiful and then detonating the entire building when the last brick is in place. From the opening bell, Inoue was moving with a fluidity that made the ring look like it belonged to him, and his opponent was just borrowing space. His jab was snapping out with a speed that made the commentary team audibly react. Short, sharp, loaded with just enough weight to keep his man honest. But behind that jab was something far more dangerous. Inoue was reading, studying, cataloging every reaction, every flinch, every gap in the guard that opened up for a fraction of a second before closing again.
第2戦です。左フック。その八重樫と同じ50キロ契約で今日はリングに上がる左ジャブ、井上です。フックを見舞っていきました。井上が左フックがあった。飛び込んできてガオフラちゃん。リングの中央でもみ合い、右アッパーを当てたガオフラちゃん。それをなんとか振りほどいた井上です。
Most fighters throw punches hoping to land. Inoue throws punches knowing exactly where they're going before they leave his glove. The bodywork started early, a right hand to the midsection that folded his opponent slightly at the waist. Then a left hook downstairs that made the man's knees buckle for just an instant. Not enough for a knockdown, but enough for Inoue to file that information away. He was building a map of his opponent's weaknesses in real time, and every punch was a data point. The commentators noticed it immediately. One of them said something that perfectly captured what was happening. This wasn't a fight. This was an adult conducting a lesson. But here's where the fight shifted from clinical to terrifying. Somewhere in the middle rounds, Inoue's opponent landed something clean. A shot that snapped Inoue's head back just enough to make the crowd gasp. And in that moment, something changed behind Inoue's eyes.
ダメージはどうですかね。いいですね。出血が見られています。千原ジュニアさん、この辺りを佐野さん左のジャブでなんとか活路を見出そうとしてきました。左のジャブから右フック、ショートレンジ今度は右。さあ倒しに行くか。さらにここから左の返し。
The patience evaporated. The measured distance work disappeared. What replaced it was a forward pressure so intense, so concentrated, that the entire energy of the arena shifted like someone had flipped a switch. Inoue didn't just start throwing more punches. He started throwing punches with a different intent. These weren't scoring punches anymore. These were punches designed to end a man's night. Left hook to the body, then upstairs with a right that grazed the temple, then back downstairs with a left that dug under the elbow and landed flush on the ribs. His opponent tried to clinch, tried to hold, tried to tie up those devastating hands. But Inoue was fighting out of every clinch with short, vicious uppercuts on the inside that created space where there shouldn't have been any. The Japanese commentary was getting louder with every exchange. You could hear the urgency in their voices even if you didn't understand a single word. They knew what was coming. Everyone knew what was coming.
の佐野のパンチを見切っていくいろいろな左を試していこう。そして引いたグラウンドかそして一気に畳みかけ出すそして日本ランク1位20年のボクシングキャリア全てをぶつけてくるさあその魂を打ち砕くか井上尚弥危ないいやいしカウンターを狙っていく右をめずれたカウンター右カウンター右驚異的ですね後ろになって和田に佐野勇気一度も負けをヒットしたでしょうか右のボディブロー痛めたかもしれない右の拳左フックまた左ダブルトリプルワンツースリーフォーさあしかも左フック苦しい可能性がありますあっと右が入る佐野に来てますか井上佐野選手出ますねジャブを下がってかわす
The commentary team erupted, the arena erupted, and somewhere, millions of people watching on screens around the world felt that knockout land, like it had traveled through the broadcast signal and into their living rooms. What makes this particular knockout resonate isn't just the finish itself, it's the journey to get there. Inoue spent the early rounds being patient, being disciplined, fighting the way his father and trainer taught him to fight. But the moment he got hit clean, the discipline didn't just crack, it shattered. And what poured through was something raw and unstoppable. That's the version of Inoue that terrifies everyone in the sport. Not the technical genius, not the counter-punching wizard. The version that gets angry and decides the fight is ending right now, on his terms, with extreme violence. His opponent walked into the ring that night believing he had a chance. He'd studied the tape. He'd prepared a game plan. He'd trained his body to absorb punishment and fire back. None of it mattered, because you can prepare for Inoue the boxer. You can prepare for the jab, the body work, the combinations. What you cannot prepare for is the moment Inoue decides he's done being patient and transforms into something that operates beyond game plans and strategies. A force that simply walks through whatever you throw and ends the conversation with a single, perfectly placed punch that you never see coming. The knockout was called in the middle rounds. The referee waved it off. The corner didn't argue. And the arena hummed with that specific frequency that only exists when thousands of people have just witnessed something they'll be talking about for years. But the question nobody asked that night, the one that should keep every fighter in the division awake, is what happens when Inoue moves up in weight and brings that same switch-flipping violence to a division full of bigger, stronger men who've never felt anything like it.